If she had never walked through our front door that afternoon, this story would not exist. The house smelled like coffee and Sunday comfort, the kind of day where nothing important is supposed to happen. Lights spilled through the hallway, soft and ordinary, like the world had no idea what it was about to witness. My brother had texted only one sentence earlier. "We're coming over." No warning, no suspicion, just another visit that should have meant nothing. But the moment the door opened, time didn't feel straight anymore. She stepped inside, laughing at something he said, sunlight catching in her hair, her shoes squeaking slightly against the floor like reality announcing itself. And the worst part wasn't seeing her. It was feeling my heart recognize her before my mind had the chance to lie. This story should not exist. My brother would still believe his life made sense. She would still be the girl everyone loved without question, the guest my mother adored, the name people said with uncomplicated smiles. And I would still be pretending that what I felt for her was just a phase I could outgrow, a harmless confusion, something distance or discipline could cure. But she did walk in. She laughed in our kitchen, placed her hand on the back of the chair she always chose, looked for me first, like she always did, and in that second, the world tilted, quietly but permanently. And nothing in the house or inside me ever went back to where it was before. Because some doors don't just open into rooms, they open into lives you are not supposed to want, and into truths you will never unlearn. People like her are not supposed to complicate your life. They are supposed to be safe, familiar, off limits. They are definitely not supposed to look at you the way she did when no one else was watching. But she did. She was my brother's girlfriend, my best friend, the person who knew all my versions before I ever learned to name them. She knew the way I disappear when I'm overwhelmed, the way I fake calm with jokes, the way my voice softens when something matters too much. She had been in my room 100 times, sitting on my bed with her legs folded beneath her, reading my silence better than anyone ever tried to. Everyone said they were perfect together, the kind of couple families use as an example at dinner tables. Matching smiles, coordinated futures, a story that looked complete from the outside. My mother loved how polite she was. My father said she was good for him. Relatives whispered words like stable, smart, right choice. She laughed easily, answered politely, fit everywhere, into photographs, into family plans, into the version of life everyone expected us to maintain. But I noticed the things no one else saw. The way her laughter sometimes stopped halfway through, like it ran into something it couldn't cross. The way her eyes searched for mine in crowded rooms before she remembered she wasn't supposed to. The way she relaxed only when it was just us, like she had been holding her breath around everyone else. And the most dangerous thing of all, she looked at me like I was the secret she was trying not to keep. The way her eyes dimmed for half a second after he kissed her. Not dramatically, not enough for anyone else to notice. Just that tiny flicker, like a light that works but doesn't want to. The way she always sat close to me without touching, knees almost brushing, shoulder almost leaning, like her body kept forgetting the rules her mind had memorized. The way she listened when I spoke, not politely, not out of habit, but with a kind of aching attention, like my words were something she had been waiting for, long before she admitted it to herself. She remembered every small thing I said, songs I hated, dreams I didn't tell anyone else, the way certain memories made me quiet. She wasn't unhappy. She laughed, she worked, she planned a future that looked perfect on paper. She was somewhere else entirely, in a life she didn't know how to leave, inside a role she didn't remember choosing, standing in a doorway between who she was and who she was no longer able to pretend to be. And that was somehow worse. Because pain is loud, people notice it. But being somewhere else while your life keeps going, that kind of absence is invisible, and no one asks if you're okay when you look like you have everything. The night everything cracked didn't look dramatic from the outside. No storms, no shouting, just a living room that had gone quiet after everyone else had gone to sleep. Only the two of us awake. The TV was on without sound, streetlight leaking through the curtains, her sweatshirt hanging too loosely on her frame, like she had grown out of the life she was wearing. She didn't look at me when she said it. "I don't think I'm in love with your brother." The words didn't explode. They just landed and rearranged every rule I had ever promised myself to obey. I swallowed. "Since when?" She smiled, the wrong kind of smile. "The whole time, I think." Silence stretched. Not uncomfortable, dangerous. "I tried," she whispered. "I really did. He is kind. He is good. Everyone expects us to work. Your mother loves me. My parents adore him." Her fingers tightened around the blanket. "And still, every time something happens in my life, you're the first person I want to tell." I didn't breathe. Her voice dropped lower. "And when you look at me, I feel like me." She finally turned. And that was the moment we were both lost. The room was quiet in that strange way houses get after midnight. Not silent, just full of small sounds. The refrigerator humming, a clock we never noticed during the day, wind brushing the window like it wanted to listen too. The TV glowed softly without sound, painting her face in shifting blue light. Her hair was messy, sweater sleeves pulled over her hands like she was trying to make herself smaller than the truth she was about to say. Not because we kissed. We didn't. Not because we crossed a line physically. We hadn't. Our hands weren't even touching, but the air between us felt charged, like the moment before a storm breaks, when everything is suspended and the world holds its breath. We crossed something far more irreversible. We told the truth. Her eyes didn't run from mine this time. They held, soft, terrified, steady. Her voice barely rose above a whisper, but the words still felt loud enough to split the room open. "I think I'm in love with you," she said. Not dramatic, not rehearsed, no grand speech. Just a woman who was tired of lying to herself, and even more tired of surviving a life that didn't feel like hers. It didn't sound like a confession. It sounded like surrender. My chest hurt. Not from fear. Fear would have been easier. From recognition. From the shock of hearing out loud what my heart had already been saying quietly for months. It felt like standing on the edge of a place we could never climb back from, with the past behind us and something terrifyingly honest ahead. And in that moment, I understood with absolute clarity. We hadn't ruined anything that was real. We had only stopped pretending. This is not a story about stealing someone's girlfriend. It isn't about betrayal for sport. It isn't even about desire. It's a story about two people who were taught their whole lives to choose what made sense instead of what felt real. She was still my brother's girlfriend, still the favorite at family dinners, still the girl who everyone believed belonged in his future. But she was also the girl sitting on my couch at 2 a.m., hands shaking, finally saying words that tasted like freedom and ruin at the same time. "I don't know who I hurt if I choose this," she whispered. "Everyone? A beat. Myself if I don't." And I understood then. Some loves don't enter your life politely. They don't ask permission. They don't wait for timing or approval. Some loves arrive only to expose every lie you were willing to live with just to keep the peace. We were too close. close enough to feel the heat of what we weren't saying. Her breath brushed my cheek. Her forehead touched mine. Nobody moved. If I leaned in, even a little, the world we knew would end. "Tell me this is just friendship," I whispered. She didn't answer. Her hand slid into mine instead, and just as our lips almost touched, voices sounded in the hallway, footsteps, her name being called. She pulled away like she'd been burned, wouldn't look at me, and said, "We can't do this." But her voice broke on the word can't. And that was the moment I knew this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the thing that was going to destroy us.